Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Discriminating Gamer. You know, I'm hungry. Maybe I should check the fridge.
There's no way you find something in your fridge.
You are really Russian to get the puns out.
They're a real Spain in my neck.
Really? I don't. Bolivia!
You gone to be kidding me.
Denmark, my words. I have the best puns.
Can you think of any more puns?
Nah, I ran out of ideas.
Ecuador.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at A War of Whispers from Starling Games. All right, ladies and gentlemen, War of Whispers by Starling Games. Now, this is a game that I reviewed before about 5 years ago when I was in Texas. I played it many times since. And this new edition, this collector's edition, is what I'm taking a look at here. I'm not going to get into the weeds to give a full rules overview. I will provide a link to my other review so you can kind of get an idea of the full rules. I'm just going to talk basically about it and then kind of tell you what I think about this new edition. A War of Whispers is, I'll tell you right now, a fantastic game. I really enjoy A War of Whispers. I always have since I first played it. This is a game where you and your friends plays up to 4 players, and what you are doing is essentially there are 5 kingdoms on the board, and you players don't represent those kingdoms. Rather, you represent kind of secret societies manipulating the different kingdoms, and you can take turns doing that. It's kind of a worker placement aspect to it. Each round, you're going to place your agents on the board, and then you're going to go around as you take care of that agent. You kind of flip them over, and then you can take an agent back at the beginning of your next turn, but then you're going to lay more agents down the next turn, and eventually the board is going to fill up, and the spaces will all be taken. And what you're doing when you're manipulating this board is you're actually looking at the different kingdoms, and you are gaining more banners. These are military units. You are moving them. You are attacking with them. You are drawing cards that can give you special powers and abilities in the game. You can actually go to a space that allows you to trade with in other spaces. So there's all sorts of different things you can do when you're manipulating the board here. Now, when I received the review copy back in 2020, I believe 2020, the game was a deluxe edition, and it had some more bells and whistles in it. I think the standard game just had cubes for the armies, and the edition I had little kind of plastic minis for the banners. Well, this new collector's edition I've got pretty much, I believe, has everything that my deluxe edition had, except I know there is a hourglass that you can go ahead and use as kind of a tracker on the board. Pretty much, I think everything else my deluxe edition already had, because it had the minis for the agents, on the guys on the thrones that you could set around the board, and then it also had kind of the cities and the farms as minis, and then of course the banners as minis. So there's really not a lot of difference between this new collector's edition and that edition. Although I do believe the new collector's edition box is thinner. It's a smaller box, which is always good. I always like to be able to conserve more shelf space. But everything else looks pretty much the same. So let me go ahead and talk about what I like about this game. Because I do like this game so much. It's so much fun to at the beginning of the game, you kind of randomly set out who you're supporting, and you can look at it. But over the course of the game, you're going to have opportunities to swap some of your tokens, but then you have to reveal them, and people can see who you are supporting under those circumstances. And so that is very, very cool. I really like that you don't know, but you have the option to change it up. But what's cool about when you don't know is you don't know who your allies in the game are going to be, and you don't know who your enemies will be. You don't know who's working to do the same things. In this game we were playing the other night, somebody moved moved a bunch of green units into attack a brown city, and it conquered a brown city. Well, on Al's turn, he actually set up a bunch of armies that he was hoping he could attack with later. But then my turn was next, and I could attack, so I used them to attack it back. So we were natural allies because we're both banking on the same kingdom. And it's just fun, as I say, over the course of the game to see that come out. And it's also fun too. You can take actions to deliberately screw over a kingdom you don't want to get ahead in the game. So that's very fun too. I think I just love how these alliances and antagonisms appear gradually over the course of the game and reveal themselves to you. And it's not a very long game. This game takes, honestly, about an hour to play. It's pretty quick. It's a relatively easy to learn game, especially if you've got somebody who's played it before. I had played it before, so I was, we were able to get into it relatively easily. And it's just a great, quick, but really thinky and crunchy game as far as what everybody else is doing. It's a game where you are testing wills. It's a game where you are hopefully going to discover before it's too late who's working against you and who's working with you, and develop those partnerships and find ways to counter those antagonists. So I love this game. I love the game. Now, if you already have the deluxe edition from a few years ago, I really don't think you need this one. If you want to save some shelf space, or if you want that hourglass, okay, fine. But I don't think you really need it. Now, if you've got kind of the basic one, again, if you love this game like I love this game, I would want the upgrade. I really like the minis. I really like all the little bells and whistles you get with this collector's edition. If you do not own this game, I think you really need to go out and buy this game. This game on the Cody scale is a solid 8. It is tremendous fun, and honestly, I played it the other night. I'm ready to play it again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we'd ask you to please leave a comment for us here on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, on X. We really love to hear from you. I'd also ask you to go ahead and check out my other channel, that is Cody Carlson, PhD, where we talk about military history, books on history, fun things like that. And if you do really enjoy the content you see here on The Discriminating Gamer, I would humbly ask you to click on the Super Thanks button and leave a tip. Did you know the reopening of the Lego store in 2020 was a big event? People were lined up for blocks.
Please somebody help me on my feet again, and I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band. God knows that I love to fight.
For the board game review show that played Cersei Lannister for 7 seasons on TV's Game of Thrones. Why did the 8th season suck? Because no Cody.